good that you came. You know, I've had such a terrible problem with the chimney sweep. Danny, you remember Danny?
I do.
I had to get rid of Danny.
And Thomas had told me he asked if I'd be here because he said you might be interviewing another chimney sweep.
Yes, and Danny said to say was drinky.
Oh my! Oh, I'll be sure to tell Thomas.
He came down the chimney into my bedroom, into the fireplace.
Oh my!
So I'm so happy, Mr. Douglas O'Brien. I'm so delighted to meet you.
I'm glad to meet you.
I've heard so much about your credentials.
Well, and I'm so sorry to hear about your experience.
I know. And I know that you don't drink, do you?
No, I don't.
No.
It's very good to know. My husband is strictly against having any type of alcohol, as you know how Thomas is.
Yes.
Straightforward.
So, please tell us a little about your background.
Well, I've been sweeping chimneys for almost 40 years, for I think 38 now, and I've always had my own business, and it's just me. I don't use any small children or anything like that.
Oh, good.
All the horror stories I've had of children being stuck in the chimneys.
It's terrible. Sometimes they have to send two. They send two boys up, and one to do the work and the other with pins, so that if the one above gets stuck, they jab them in the bottoms of the feet so that the energy of fear gets them out of the...
Those poor little souls.
It's terrible, but I don't. That's why I don't do that. I just do the work myself, and that way it's me that's making sure things stay clean and that the work is done properly, and so that's, you know, I've been doing the work in this area not as long. I lived in another area and moved here maybe 10 years ago, and but so I'm still getting established.
How do you find Northern Ireland?
I like it. I like it. You know, I mean, there's the sometimes the coal is it's a hard thing to work with sometimes, but because I came from a more rural area where we burned wood and peat.
I understand.
So it was a different sort of thing, but it's I enjoy this. I enjoy this area.
Well, tell me, what do you think of my house?
It's a beautiful house.
The chimneys. Tell me what you think
There's
you're going to need to do.
Do you know how many? I haven't counted them. How many are there?
I think there's about 10.
10, possibly more, Aunt Lucy. It could be 15.
I have never been up there.
How many fireplaces do you have? Are there fireplaces in every room?
In every single room.
Every room,
every room. Yes.
And Mr. O'Brien, I have to tell you, it's quite a relief that you're here to interview with Aunt Lizzie, because she's just been so worried ever since she had that problem with Danny.
Yeah,
that's why I called you, dear, to have your support.
Yes.
Well, it is kind of alarming.
Yes.
But you don't have to worry about that with me.
Oh, lovely.
Very good.
Lovely, lovely.
Very good.
So tell us a little about what you think I need to do here.
Well, you probably have cook stoves that are coal.
Yes, I do.
So those flues would have to be cleaned also. And the fireplace flues, we should at least check them. We'll make sure that they're all checked out. And I live nearby, so I can come over. It'll take several days, so I'll come by and make sure that they're all checked and that the masonry is in good shape. I have friends that are masons that can repair anything that might need repairs.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And then we'll clean the ones that need to be cleaned.
Now, do you come and talk to my maids?
I can do that.
Because they're the ones in charge of the fireplaces. Really.
Right. That would be right. That would be the thing. Yes, I'll talk to whoever it is that's managing the property. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, what problems do you think you could find?
Well, I make sure that there are no birds nesting, and or other animals. We make sure that the masonry on the inside is in good shape, so there isn't any danger of pieces falling down and clogging a flue. Make sure there are no. I see that you have ivy. Make sure there's no ivy or any other plants growing that might get into a flue and obstruct it, and that squirrels or anything like that haven't made nests.
Aunt Lizzie, I do think that you had mentioned me once before that you felt a squirrel may have fallen down one of your chimneys.
And one time an owl. It was an owl.
Wow, that's unusual.
Yes.
Well, they have chimney swifts that actually build nests right inside the chimneys.
Really?
And yes, but they're usually gone by August or September, and they come early in the year, but they're gone early also. So they wouldn't, except in the chimneys that are being used for the cooking, they probably wouldn't be bothered, and they wouldn't bother you. But the other things would be to make sure, of course, that there's no soot, and we make sure that the house stays clean.
Oh, thank you.
You know, we cover up things, and we put covers across the front of the fireplace, and make sure that the furniture is covered and moved away.
Well, you know, Danny, he never did any of that. And he ruined my beautiful rug.
Yes.
The carpet in my bedroom. You know that?
She-
Coming down the fireplace.
She had several Oriental rugs.
It was absolutely disgusting.
Yes.
Well, I make sure that everything is clean and no soot is my policy. You know,
Thank you so much. Now tell us a little about the brushes that you use.
Well, the brushes I use are different kinds of fibers, and I have rattan poles. And the brushes are large enough to fit right inside the flue, and I have different sizes and different shapes. And I use the rattan rods, and they have brass fittings that screw together, and so that I can make them as long as I need, which is why I don't have to have small children climbing around.
That's very good.
And back in the old days, before I was sweeping chimneys, that the climbing boys would. It was a terrible thing that they, were until they made it against the law to have small children to doing the work.
Terrible.
You had to be over 21.
Really?
Yes. It was kind of a problem for the kids that were earning money, but it was a terrible health hazard for them. They got very sick.
So I'm to understand that these children never truly ever received wages. They were just taken care of by the chimney sweep.
Yeah, it was a kind of an indentured sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they weren't. No, it wasn't a wage sort of thing back in the old days. So, and they were covered with soot. They slept in soot. I mean, it was not a good thing as far as their health was
issues,
concerned.
yes.
Yeah, and so I wear protection for my breathing, and I wear different clothes to keep the soot off me, so that then when I move from one room to the other, I'm not dropping soot onto the carpet.
Aunt Lizzie, you'll be quite happy about that.
Oh, you bet you like. I was so upset,
Oh, well, I should think.
And especially with Danny drinking, I also worried about his welfare.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't want to be on a roof if you were inebriated. No.
Well,
especially here at Maxwell Court.
That's true. They're very high.
And my son is in charge of designing the wonderful Titanic.
Uh-huh.
I'm so proud of him.
Yes, I've heard of it.
Tell Mr. O'Brien about the things on the Titanic.
Well, interesting enough, as you're here today to talk about the chimneys and the fireplaces and the stoves, my husband has been telling me quite a bit about the things on board the ship. And interestingly, as you've seen, as you've seen all the different fireplaces on board the ship, well, I've come to find that only one of the fireplaces actually burn coal in the gentleman's smoking room. The rest are actually electric fireplaces. And then throughout, I believe he said there are, Lizzie, do tell me if I have this correct, Prometheus heaters and Bastion heaters?
I think so.
Electric heaters.
Yes.
But Mr. O'Brien, I was wondering if you can tell me how the I would say the funnel that comes down into where this gentleman's smoking room would have been cleaned, where the fireplace burns the coal from.
Well, I would think they would have to have somebody at the top and with a brush, just like the brushes that I use, but I'm sure it must have been round, so they would have used the round brushes of a fiber that would not make a spark, and they brush that down, and then they might use something to neutralize the acids, because that would attack the metal over time. And I assume, I mean, they would use probably the same people that cleaned out the funnels for the boilers.
For the boilers, yes.
And I don't know whether they would have had somebody on board that did that, or whether that would have been done in port in the shipyard. Or
ask Thomas this.
That would be
Ask him, or your brother William.
Yes.
One of them.
I know.
The way that the funnels are actually created and the way they look is if you were looking inside the ship, there is as if they're an upside down funnel that you would be able to funnel milk or something into a container, and the funnel funnels out at the base, and that's where it's able to service all these different areas. And funnel number 4, which a lot of people are misunderstanding, thinking it doesn't have a functional funnel as the other 3 funnels, that they're actually wrong. The fireplace that I'm speaking to you about in the smoking room, the smoke from that will be coming out through the 4th funnel, and it also helps to ventilate a lot of the kitchen areas and a lot of the other servants' areas where they're working.
Yes, I've seen in some of the larger homes in the area where they have ventilation in the kitchen that uses the same chimney, a different flue, but in the same actual chimney structure, that the exhaust, the smoke from the cook stoves goes out. It also, another flue is the ventilation. So I could see how they would do that.
Now, Mr. O'Brien, Aunt Lizzie tells me you've been working very hard at your profession for 38 to 40 years now.
It's true. It's true. And I've worked on both coal and wood chimneys, and with coal and wood stoves, and because I do repairs and things like that, service the stoves as well.
Have you ever worked on any of the royal family fireplaces?
No.
No?
No. I was never that close to.
No. I often wondered, whether you ever helped them.
Well, they must be London sweeps.
Really?
Probably several.
So. I'm sure that you are quite qualified.
Well,
to
thank
help,
you. I appreciate
the
it.
royal family.
Well, send them the word, and I'll.
I know.
We shall.
Definitely put in recommendations for you.
I would be very interested.
Yes.
And Aunt Lizzie, Mr. O'Brien, this is just one of her several houses that she owns. So Ardara.
Well, if you're satisfied, I'll look forward to doing some others.
I will keep you very busy.
If I remember correctly, Ardara needs a new chimney sweep as well.
Okay.
Yes, so, and then of course our new home, we just returned from honeymoon.
Oh, good.
But
congratulations.
Thank you. Our home is called Dunallen. It's on Windsor Avenue. I'm sure you're quite familiar. So I'm just looking to see how well things come about here, and perhaps you'd like to have work with us as well.
I'm glad to hear
So how many fireplaces do you have, Nellie?
I have about 12,
12?
in the house, yes. But I have a question for you, Mr. O'Brien. I noticed that on the top of my home, there's quite a few chimney pots per chimney. I don't quite understand how that works. Would you mind explaining to me? I'm always loving to learn more things.
Well, if you look, there's the chimney itself, the brick chimney, and there's a pot, the chimney pots, the extensions that come out the top, and each one of those would be the top of a flue or a passageway that's inside the chimney that goes to the fireplace or to the stove, or if you have heating stoves that are not a fireplace but an actual metal stove, that would also be vented with a pipe going into a flue. And so each one of those pots at the top of the chimney is a separate flue that's going either to a fireplace or to a furnace or a stove.
Isn't that interesting? With all the different pots we have on the home.
One of my relatives, they lost a beautiful house. They had a fire.
I remember you told me of this.
Could you tell me what happened?
You can, if there's enough residue of the coal dust and the ashes and there's still carbon in the residue in the chimney, then it can catch fire and it can burn. And it can burn very hot So then the heat gradually goes right through the brick, and
Right through the brick.
right through the brick, and there's and wood is in contact, at the floors or at the roof or in the walls even, maybe touching the chimney. And if the chimney has a crack, there might be a way for heat and fire to get out that way. So that's another reason it's really important to keep everything in good condition.
Well, that relative of mine, they lost this beautiful house.
And then sparks may come out the top.
Thank God they were on holiday.
I'm glad.
They
I'm
had
glad
gone
nobody
to
was there.
Italy, but some of the maids were there. But
they escaped?
They were lucky.
Yes, Thomas
they
told me,
escaped in
yes.
time.
Good. I'm glad to hear that, because it can be very dangerous to have the fire, and you can have burning material come out the top and land on the roof. And I believe yours are slate roof,
Yes, that's
so
correct.
that's safer.
And Mr. O'Brien, how often do you suggest Aunt Lizzie have you come in and clean?
Well, I would come in once a year to inspect everything, and anything that needs cleaning, then we can clean it. And I can also check the stoves, the cook stoves, and make sure those have to be cleaned out also. And I'm sure the people who are in charge of the kitchen make sure that the stove is basically kept clear of ash. But then when I come, I can take it apart and clean all around the ovens and in the passageways for the smoke. I can make sure that's all good,
Seems
so you
quite
can
thorough.
get the most efficient use of the.
Well, I would appreciate you greatly talking to my servants,
I'd be happy to do
telling
that.
them what they should be doing.
I can make
Because
sure
my
that they're
goodness,
doing.
I would break my heart if I lost this house.
Oh no, that would be terrible.
And I have the other houses, and I want you to be in charge.
Okay, I accept.
Maxwell Court's been in our family a very long time.
That's right. And I inherited this house,
Yes.
and it was the first house I had when I got married. So I'm so sentimental about it.
Yes.
And what's your connection with the Titanic?
My husband is actually the designer of it.
oh.
Aunt Lizzie, you hadn't told Mr. O'Brien about Thomas.
No, I didn't know about
My
that.
wonderful son, Thomas, is the designer of the wonderful new ship, the Titanic.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
That's why Nellie knows so much.
I know. I'm fascinated by that. That's
Yes.
very interesting.
And of
'Cause
course,
I don't swim, so
I don't either.
Aunt Lizzie understands that very well. All the new contract had gone into effect in, I believe it was first 1907 they signed the contract, and then just recently this year they decided to start the work, and it's coming along very well.
That's very good.
First Olympic took shape, and then Titanic, and they're getting ready to be fitted out and continue from that point, and then the funnels and all will be connected. But Thomas has worked with the yard, as you know, since apprenticeship at 16 years of age, and he was telling me all about the funnels on Titanic and how similar they are to a lot of the funnels that were on previous ships, as well as Lusitania, Mauretania. So I was truly wanted to know how they worked and who would clean them and how that would come about compared to the work you do in the homes.
Right. And well, it's on a totally different scale because it's a really big ship, right?
She's
I mean, with the name Titanic, I would think
over
it'd be really huge.
42,000 tons.
Yes.
Over.
So it would be, but the process would be very similar.
See?
That it's the same material that we have to get rid of to make it safe.
And it's been built right here in Ireland.
Right here in Belfast. Considering the work that you do, if you possibility and how we see your work is here at Maxwell Court in Dunallen in our Dara House, perhaps we could put a good word to my husband, because perhaps you might be able to help him with the coal bunkers over there at Harlan and Wolff.
Why not?
That'd be wonderful. I was going to ask you, Mr. O'Brien, what do you think about these newfangled electric fireplaces?
I
really don't like them.
I don't know anything about them, but
Yeah?
it sounds like it could do me out of a job. So I'm not. I don't know how
I just
crazy.
don't like the looks of them.
But I would think it would be safer on a ship.
Well, from what I understood from Thomas, that there's only going to be the one fireplace in the gentleman's smoking room that actually will be a coal-burning fireplace, and the rest of the fireplaces throughout the ship are going to be electric. And as I had mentioned earlier about the Prometheus electric heaters and the Bastion heaters, they will be out throughout the ship. So mainly it'll be electric, except for the one.
I think you'd want to have a fire at sea.
No, certainly not.
Since I don't swim.
Oh goodness! And Thomas has told you. Do you recall, Aunt Lizzie? He's encountered several coal bunker fires aboard the different ships he's worked on over the years. But I must tell you, you remind me a lot of him, because there's been several times where there was a coal bunker fire, and rather than having the other men jump in, he himself put on all his protective clothing and jumped in and put it out himself.
Have gotten a lot of
Sounds just
city
like
face.
my boy. I call him my big boy.
That's right, your big son.
He's a very big fella, more ways than one.
Yes.
And his desire as a little boy was to build a ship.
I remember.
Here he is. He's building the Titanic. I never thought this would happen, Nellie. You know?
I'm so very proud of him, and I know you are as well.
And my brother has encouraged it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, and William, most probably, Mr. O'Brien, we can speak to William Peary, of course, managing director, which is her brother, that perhaps we can speak to him as well as finding you work there at the yard.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
There are fireplaces in all the drawing offices.
Yes, they need to be cleaned.
Have you been to your son's office as
Yes,
of late?
I have.
Well, you remember the beautiful fireplace and the beautiful tile work around
do,
there.
lovely.
It would be absolutely perfect for you to come down and possibly take a look at the fireplaces over there at the drawing offices.
I'd love to.
I really think it's a wonderful idea, you know?
And I'm very happy, Aunt Lizzie, that Mr. O'Brien came today to speak to you and myself as well. And I'm going to let her son know that he can rest assured all will be well, and she's in good hands with you.
And sober.
And sober. And you know something, my dear daughter-in-law, Nellie, I don't know what I would do without her. That's why I called her to come and meet you.
That's good.
And I
I'm
can
glad.
see she approves of it.
I do.
Well, I'm glad.
I do.
I appreciate it.
No,
Now,
very much.
Mr. O'Brien, how old were you when you decided you wanted to be a chimney sweep?
I was in my mid-20s, and a couple of years later, I found somebody who could teach me how to do it, and I learned how to do it, and I've been going at it ever since.
And I hope you are taking care of your health.
I am. I wear protection for my breathing, and I wear protection for my eyes, and then I wear special clothing so I don't get the soot on me, and then I can take it off before I move through the house.
That's wonderful. Now, is there anybody else in your family a chimney sweep?
Actually, there are not my immediate family, but there are other people in my family who have been sweeps for many years.
Really?
Yes.
And I must ask, Mr. O'Brien, are you married?
No, I'm not.
You're not. My next question was going to see how your wife liked all the dirt coming home every evening.
Well, I have to do that myself.
Yes. Now, where do you live?
I live. It's about 10 miles from here. It's a small town.
And I take it you clean your chimney?
I do indeed every year.
Really?
I do, and I repair my stoves.
In fact, I
We
do.
burn.
I do think I've seen you previous over near Donegal Place.
That could be.
With
that
your,
could be.
and I believe you were with your horse over there
Yes.
and carriage.
That could
Yes.
be.
In fact, they were the ones who told me about Mr. O'Brien
Wonderful.
and highly recommended
Oh well, I'll
you.
have to thank them.
Yeah, the wonderful shop.
Yes.
That's where I had seen him over there near
Really?
Donegal Place. I thought you looked quite familiar. And I saw you there with your carriage and your horse.
Yes.
Have you thought of, with your line of work, have you thought of possibly going to the horseless carriage? The
I
motor
have
car?
thought of that because I do carry a lot of weight, and I've been thinking about getting more ladders. Instead of just going out through hatches in the roof, which most houses do. It's still sometimes, and to expect the horse to carry them all that weight is. And
quite a bit.
they have these. It's like. It's a thing that sucks too. I can't remember what they call it, a vacuum or something.
Yes.
And
yes.
I've heard about these, and that would make things. It would be so much easier to keep it clean. You know, but they need electricity, and not many people around here have electricity yet.
I've heard, because many people we've spoken with aren't sure what to think of the new contraption, along with the telephone and other things, the carpet cleaner, and at times it's been known to work very well, and other times it's been known to blow everything back up into the air and the carpets and the draperies.
I don't think I would like that. So I think, when do you think you can start?
I could start next week.
Really?
Yes.
So where about you going to begin?
It's Friday. I could start Monday.
Okay. Now what chimney are you going to start with?
Well, I'll probably want to inspect them all first, and then I'll decide. You can tell me what the best place to start is.
And of course I'll come over and help you along.
And I'll do check the kitchen fireplaces and the kitchen stoves.
And speak to those maids.
I'll make sure that they...
because you know, sometimes they're very, very lazy. I really have to get after them now.
I have the same problem at home.
I don't like doing that, you know, because they're sweet girls.
Well, but
I really, you know, I pay them good money and have a good mistress.
And when you don't have hot water, you're quite upset.
Right. But I do expect them to do a job and to do it well.
That's correct.
Well, that's the way it should be.
We should allow you to be in charge of them.
No, I have enough time being in charge of myself.
Well, Aunt Lizzie, are you quite satisfied with Mr. O'Brien?
Yes, I have another job I have to get to.
Mr. O'Brien,
I think we've taken enough of Mr. O'Brien's day.
In my employ.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And I pay good. You'll see my secretary before you leave.
Okay.
And she will tell you about your pay and what we expect of you. And of course we expect no drinking.
That's right, of course.
Sobriety all the way.
And I will speak to my husband and Uncle William about perhaps coming to the yard to help clean the fireplaces there. So it's very nice to meet you, Mr. O'Brien.
It's a pleasure to meet you too.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and good luck to you.
Good luck to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm the one
it's
with
going
the
to
luck.
be good luck to me.
Yeah, that's right.
It's like
All my honor.
I touched a chimney sweep.
That's right.
Yes, he did tell me that. He said that touching.
So touch him.
One more time. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful day.